Hello, welcome to Ascension Arcana Tarot. This is Christine with a weekly reading for the week of November 3rd. This is a general collective reading, so as always, please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I'm in like a fairies and gnomes mood right now, so I'm using the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. And it's funny, I've had owls coming up a lot lately, and I just noticed that there's owls on here. So I feel like there's some fun continuity there with what I've been going through. Let's see. I also have a rutilated smoky quartz rock on the table here. This is a rock from my massive rock collection. It was just feeling like it wanted to join us this evening, so its energy is here in the reading. God, what does this collective need to know? We have the Hierophant. In this deck is the old tree. That's very sweet. And then we had a little chunkier fallout. So in this deck, the tower is called the Folly. It's kind of like this little gnome tree falling apart. The Three of Swords, the Two of Wands, and then the Four of Cups. And this is going to require a little bit of mental gymnastics. I haven't used this deck for a while, and I forgot that it has different names for all the suits. So this is interesting. If you're in this collective, this is a big energy here that you're going through. I'm feeling there's a groundedness here in this very spiritual energy of the Hierophant. Kind of some peace and stillness. And I'm feeling that actually being disrupted by this energy that you're moving through. And like, I'm very careful with tarot that I don't enjoy readings at all that give like doom and gloom energy. So when I say that there's challenges here, for me, it's always just spiritual blocks, something coming up to be healed. It can be patterns coming up, behaviors coming up, right, that are not serving your highest good, your highest self, coming up for you to look at, to identify, to have some clarity on, to heal, so that you can kind of clear this from your consciousness and move on. So when I say that there's challenges, please know that that's what I mean here is like, it's healable stuff, right? It's important things that the universe is asking you to look at and sort of process from your consciousness. So I feel like this has been you sort of really steady doing your spiritual work. And then this tower kind of comes in and there's an intense energy here. So the Three of Challenges is the energy of heartbreak. I'm really drawn to the fact that in this deck, it's this man leaving the children. I'm guessing this is the fairy tale of Hansel and Gretel, where he had to like abandon them in the woods or whatever, right? And then they had to use the breadcrumbs and got kidnapped by the witch, and it's like this horrible story. And this man as their father, right? Kind of like crying as he's abandoning them. That's like a really heartbreaking energy. If you're in this collective, you could resonate with that, whether it's something that's going on with your own children or maybe some healing that you're doing with your own inner child. The Two of Spells actually feels pretty magical here because this is a choice. This is a choice that you're making. And I actually feel like I'm channeling the energy of the Lovers card in terms of making that choice that feels aligned with love, right? So there's, in this Three of Challenges, there's this heartbreak, there's betrayal, and it's coming from this physical act of abandonment that's happening, right? This card is literally the energy of this father, like abandoning these children. So I'm feeling that for you, that there's a spiritual message here around this choice that you have to basically abandon yourself or not abandon yourself, abandon your children or not abandon your children. Like there's some sort of abandonment energy here that you're healing from your vibration that has to do with a choice that you're making, right? And I feel like that's your free will decision to say, do I want to go down this path or this path? Do I want to make the choice aligned with love or the choice that's not aligned with love, right? And that you have the free will to do that. So the Tower, this Folly card, is showing that there is an incoming sudden change that will be happening. But I'm feeling like you have a choice, right, of how you want to react to that change. And like I like to say, the Tower card for me, the energy of it is never taking away something that's really meant for you, right? So if you have things in your life that are meant for you, that are, given to you by God, the universe, your guides, whatever resonates for you, like those things are yours. It's the things that are built on that foundation of sand, right? The things that are not in alignment with your highest good. So the Tower card, even though I think in traditional tarot, it can have kind of like a scary vibe, it's a quick incoming sudden change energy. And in this one, I'm drawn to the fact that there's like all these birds, and I don't know if they're bats or if they're just birds. They kind of look like crows, like flying up out of this house. So it feels like this gnome house was like infested, right? For me, often the birds represent like those ego thoughts, that ego chatter, just sort of the chaos, right? Of standing there and having all those wings like flapping around you and making the air really choppy. That's not a nice home to live in. This home that's infested by like this swarm of birds, right? So the top is coming off to release that. I feel like this energy that you're moving through is releasing some toxicity. It's maybe releasing some chaos, some ego thoughts, some worries maybe that you're focusing on. The top coming off to be able to release that, right? Like I said, with the Two of Spells, being able to make that choice. Like I'm really channeling that here. There's a choice that's aligned with love, and there's a choice that's not. And I feel like because you're reflecting to me as the Hierophant card, you have that groundedness and that wisdom to know which path is which. I'm not getting a feeling of deception here. I am getting a feeling that if you're in this collective, you're kind of a bit lost in your own, kind of in your own sadness. I was going to say, yeah, I feel like you're lost in your lostness. Like there's just a feeling here of being lost. I'm not laughing at this energy. Sorry. This is intense if you're in this collective. I'm just laughing at my inability to find the words here. And that's actually kind of this energy, the inability to find it, the inability to pin it down, get it right, to make progress. That's the energy of this. The Four of Visions is the Four of Cups. It's that card of apathy. So if you look, there's actually this beautiful, looks like maybe a hummingbird or like a bluebird kind of coming out of the water and like this magical fairy dust. There's also this little dragonfly, which I've shared as a symbol of transformation for me. So you've got like this symbol of joy, this symbol of transformation. There's lotus flowers in the water, right? The symbol of opening, of your chakras opening, of your heart opening. But the figure in this card is just sitting there kind of lost in depression, sadness, apathy, like not noticing these sort of beautiful gifts like sparking up around him, right? So that feeling here of like lostness, I really just keep hearing you're like lost in your own lostness. And that's like totally not an appropriate grammatical way to say that, but that's the words that are coming to me. So kind of being lost in that and almost like accepting that feeling of being lost, or like a part of you kind of reveling in it. And what I'm feeling is like snap out of it. I'm not a good snapper, but I'm feeling like snap out of it, like snap out of it. Because there's a choice here for you to make, right? Maybe the choice is you snap out of this energy or you don't snap out of this energy, right? And if you choose not to snap out of it, I feel like that's where this abandonment energy comes from. And if you do choose to snap out of it, I feel like it's sort of letting these crows, this infestation, this ego noise, right? This chaos, it's like venting it My spiritual teacher talks about venting out of your crown chakra, kind of releasing out of your crown chakra that energy that is out of alignment with love. And that's really what this is reminding me of, even with the lotus flower, kind of opening that flower of your crown chakra and just venting that energy out and letting it release. Yeah, this is really powerful. This is intense. If you're in this collective, this is some big spiritual work that you're going through. What other messages do you have for this collective? It feels weird having the cards, like, I feel like I gotta move my rock so I can make room if we have another row here. I don't know if any, oh, I was gonna say I don't know if any more want to come out, and they started coming up. 9 of Boons, that's sweet. Keeper of Spells. So I am not remembering if the Keeper is the Page or the Knight in this deck. I'm like trying to see if I can quickly figure it out. Seeker. Okay, the Seeker is the Page, the Keeper is the Knight. Okay, that's the energy I was feeling from that, but I wanted to make sure. Would have been cooler if I said that first, because then you guys would know I was on it. I'm feeling that. So the Knight, out of the court cards, the Knights are already kind of like the most fiery energy, right? I kind of imagine them as like a teenager energy where they're full of like movement and ideas and sort of like wonder about the world, like still kind of learning who they are and how the world works. It's like already a very fiery energy for me. So to have, this is the equivalent of the Knight of Wands in the traditional tarot. So he's already like the fiery knight, and then on top of that, he is the Knight of the fire sign of Wands, of spells in this deck. It feels like sparking up that passion, like I was saying. It's like the opposite energy of this apathy, right? So it's you kind of snapping out of it, right? And like bursting into action in the form of bursting into this passionate, like fiery, flamey energy. The fire suit in the tarot, it's all about passion and taking the initiative, right? Kind of fueling yourself through your own like desire and willpower into your goals. That's an awesome energy. It feels like the antithesis of the energy of this row. So that to me would feel like I'm actually, so you know how I talked about that 2 of Spells, right? As a path. You're choosing the path out of abandonment and apathy, or you're choosing the path deeper into it, right? If you decide to snap out of it, I'm seeing the visual of this guy rubbing the sticks on each other, almost like how you would make a fire in the olden days, right? By like rubbing the sticks and then they would make a spark. This is like a funny visual that I got. But yeah, I feel like it might take you a bit of willpower and a bit of effort and energy to overcome this. I'm feeling a message of like going deep into your spiritual work. So if that resonates for you and you have like spiritual practices that are part of your daily routine, making sure that you're really leaning into those and being disciplined, and almost like a fake it till you make it energy. So if you're kind of in this apathy vibe, I feel like there can maybe be a tendency to almost like beat yourself up about it, or be upset that you're not seeing changes, and why am I doing all this work and I'm still so sad and like nothing's changing, nothing's progressing. Like really releasing that type of chatter that's very ego-based chatter that often comes up like right before you're about to make a breakthrough. I feel like that's kind of the energy of this swarm of birds flapping around your head and kind of causing like noise and doubt. It's okay to be in that energy and just feel that you feel this way. Like if you have lived in this house, you've been cohabitating with like several hundred crows in this tiny little space that are probably cawing and eating all your food and pooping everywhere. And like this has not been a pleasant experience for you. There's a reason why you're in this energy. And it's absolutely okay to just have acceptance for where you are, that these are your feelings, this is what you're working through, and it is what it is, and it's okay. I think where it might become problematic is like staying in that energy, kind of caving into the belief that you're powerless to like work through this or overcome this. I do feel like this Two of Spells, you're like rubbing those sticks to start the spark for the fire. And as soon as it even sparks, you like create it into this magnificent fireball that this knight is wielding, right? So it just takes a little spark. And I feel like that spark for you is hope. And that's what the universe is trying to send this guy with this little bluebird and this little dragonfly, like these symbols of hope, that it's like the illusion is thick for you right now, the illusion of being stuck. And just noticing even one little spark, one little glimmer of hope sort of catapults you, with this big, beautiful fireball, that all of a sudden your passion is like reignited. You've gathered your personal power back and you feel like you're ready to sort of like blaze into the next phase of your healing. It's like bringing light to a fog or a darkness. It's a beautiful energy. I don't usually resonate so much with this knight because his energy is so fiery, but he's really in your face. And I feel like in this energy, that's needed because he's part of what's going to help you snap out of this. But you have to make that choice. You have to choose. Do you want to go deeper into that energy, or do you want to heal it? Do you want to transcend this and heal this? And once you make that choice, I feel like he's blazing in to help you. I don't know. This just came to me. I don't know what archangel is associated with like maybe the sign of Aries or like fire or something. Like I would associate Archangel Michael with the suit of swords. I'm just wondering if there's an archangel that is associated with fire, and that might be like a good spirit guide to help call on if that resonates for you. The Nine of Boons is very sweet. So this in the traditional tarot would be the Nine of Pentacles, which shows a very grounded energy, a very safe energy. In the Nine of Pentacles, you have everything that you need. So you're like provided for financially, you have leisure time, you have time to engage in like hobbies and activities, you're safe. There's really a feeling of like safety, groundedness, and abundance in that card. And in this, I'm really drawn to, I think it's called a hummingbird moth. We have these where I live. That's neat. Kind of similar to this bird here, but do you see how she's raising her hand up and like receiving it, right? This is a similar energy to the reading that I had the other day with the Nine of Cups, where I was talking about you have to be open to receiving, like holding that cup out to God and letting him fill your cup with all of your good and all of your wishes come true. And I'm feeling similar with that gesture here, where she could be this guy, who's not noticing the signs around him, but instead she's holding her hand out and saying like, yes, I'm receiving this, right? So she's in receiving mode and he's in like ignoring and refusing mode. There's a very, very different feeling here. So sparking that passion and that creativity and that drive, right? Like that willpower, sparking that back up in yourself and opening to receiving the gifts that the universe is bringing to you. And like I said, open to receiving that hope. Like moths are a huge symbol of transformation, right? Just like a butterfly. The difference with moths is that moths are more creatures of the night. So butterflies are creatures of the daytime. I feel moths as more of like a nighttime energy, which resonates with the moon and also with going into your sort of shadow self, right? Like going into the shadows, going into the darkness, and kind of being comfortable there. And I don't mean comfortable in the sense of this apathy of like, cool, I'm going to hang out in my darkness. That's not what I mean at all. But being comfortable with all aspects of you, whether they feel light or dark, whether they feel good or bad. Like, I'm feeling like a releasing of any of that judgment and kind of a free flowing, being able to just go into every part of yourself, being able to be with every part of yourself and to just unconditionally accept and love every part of yourself. That's a really beautiful energy. I definitely channeled that just from that moth. I love tarot and oracle cards. It's like such an amazing medium for just letting your intuition flow. That feels extraordinarily important to me in terms of specifically this energy, but also just your own self in general. Like making sure that you have so much compassion. Like whatever you've been going through has been extraordinarily difficult. The tower doesn't show up when you're having a good time, right? Most of the time. Sometimes it can just mean a surprise. But in this case, I'm feeling it as a difficult, sudden change. It's like you've been healing and minding your business, and all of a sudden like these upsets are kind of like erupting out of you, and you're like a little bit overwhelmed and lost in them, you know? And just really having so much compassion for yourself for what you're experiencing, you know? You're just breaking through an illusion. I feel that energy with the Knight, the Keeper of Spells here too, in terms of breaking through an illusion. Like this dude's got this blazing fire. If there is anything kind of in the darkness, in the shadows, that fire is gonna like blaze it right up and you'll be able to see very clearly. It's almost like a sun card energy. And I'm drawn to how he looks like he's in a dark space, like a cave. But it's like his own fire that he is creating. He's like a magical guy. He's creating this right out of his hands. So his own fire, his own light that he's creating to shine in the darkness and sort of bring that illumination. So on this side, we have advice or suggestions from the universe. We have the Six of Cups. That's very sweet. There's a great innocence there. I feel like that is going along with what I was just saying around having a lot of compassion for yourself around this energy that you've been going through. There's what's sticking out to me on this card is the magic, first of all, right? Of all these beautiful little fairies flying around, but the innocence. Like you are innocent. I don't feel in this energy at all like you're doing anything wrong or you're doing like a bad job or anything like that. You're innocent. You're just a soul that is purifying, right? And this energy is coming up to be released. And I feel like being able to recognize that it's not like you did something bad or are like attracting something bad or anything like that. It's just, I'm so drawn to the top popping off and all the birds pouring out. It's really just, this energy is so completely out of alignment with your highest good at this point that it's like a volcano that had to erupt. It's like the top had to pop because it's just becoming more and more and more out of alignment with your soul as you're healing. So we have the 10 of Swords, the 6 of Wands, and the 4 of Pentacles. So I'm feeling like the 10 of Swords, it's powerful in this deck. This guy looks so defeated. The 10 of Swords is the card in the traditional tarot where the figure is laid out on the ground and they have like 10 swords stabbed in their back, right? So it's a bit of an excess. Like you only really need one sword stabbed in your back in order to die, right? But it's a complete ending of basically ego, of these ego thoughts, of the worrying, right? And I feel like there's a part of you that is this swordsy, ego-y part that is coming to an end and basically having like the equivalent of like a spiritual death. It's these birds. these birds for me have a similar vibration to the swords. They feel like ego to me. That's usually the word that comes to me. Really releasing that, really letting that ego-y part of you have its ending, have its death. And I feel like the reason why that ending is the 10 of Swords is because it's like that feeling of defeat, right? That I was feeling in these cards here, that feeling of betrayal and apathy and depression and abandonment. Like, those are big, heavy things that you're working through if you're in this collective. And I feel like there's that feeling of heaviness and like defeat and heartbreak in the 10 of Swords that's really resonating with whatever this energy is that you're like releasing, healing, and transforming. The 6 of Wands to me, this feels like you as this total badass, like riding towards me through the fire. So I feel like this Keeper of Spells has taken like a cave full of all the darkness and all of like these unproductive thoughts, all of this anxiety, these worries, this kind of ego poking at the places where it thinks you're most susceptible, kind of taking those swords, tossing them into a cave and just like pouring kerosene on it or gasoline or whatever and like lighting it on fire, right? And the whole cave is just blazing up. And this is you like calmly strolling on your horse out of the cave. It's like this like superior confidence and this badassery of like, yeah, I just defeated the crap out of those swords. Like, I don't know how else to say that. I'm seeing it as like a movie scene where like the really cocky hero is kind of like slowly strolling away from, and then like in the background the scene explodes or whatever. Like, that's totally what I'm getting from that card. And then here's all your friends in the background like, yeah, you're so amazing, like cheering at you for your cool pyrotechnics. So like, please don't actually light anything on fire. That would be ridiculous. But that's the energy that I'm getting from these cards. Is this just you giving this like fiery exit, the fiery dramatic exit to this energy? It feels very cathartic and it feels very transformative. I like that. I feel like this is you having decided with those two paths to choose the path of overcoming this, right? Of healing this and dealing with it. And then you're rubbing the sticks together, right? It's lovely. The Four of Pentacles is feeling to me like that energy of holding on. And I'm drawn to like in this deck, this feels very purposeful that he has a blindfold on. It's like he's into the pentacles and he can't even notice, first of all, the magic here. Second of all, this beautiful lit up doorway, which feels like a portal to something really lovely. And third, there's like all these flowers here, right? And he's kind of only energetically focused, I guess, on the ones with the pentacles because he can't see and actually focus on anything. It feels to me like a message of realigning your vision. So the message that I'm getting here is if you are kind of, let me think of how to say this. Our brains, right? When we think of things over and over and over again, it creates like a pathway. Imagine like a road, right? And the more that you're thinking those thoughts and like connecting certain things, the stronger and stronger like that pathway or road becomes, is strengthening the association between those things. So I feel like you kind of have a rut worn in your brain, this road in your brain that is a pathway that's bringing you to these energies, this abandonment, this betrayal, this depression, and the apathy of this card. Those are like the four words that keep coming to me. So it's like you have this pathway of practicing going to the abandonment, going to the betrayal, going to the apathy, going to the depression. And I feel like with the Four of Pentacles, part of it is that's been so automatic for you that you're kind of like blind to the fact that that's your pathway. But I feel like this energy, if you're in this collective, it's kind of a wake-up call from the universe to say, hey, It's time to create a new pathway here. And I feel like the universe is very open to working with you around what is the next pathway that you want to create. It's kind of another Two of Spells energy where like, do you want to create this new pathway or this new pathway or this one or this one, or, you know, which direction do you want to go in? Do you want to go up? Do you want to go sideways? Like, because there's like multiple things in this card that I'm like very attracted to, right? These other flowers, the sparkly energy, this little cave over here. It's like, well, which one do you want to go to? You know? I feel like the universe is inviting you. And again, this is a minor arcana energy. So, I mean, everything's your free will choice, right? But even more than usual, you kind of have to make the choice to meet the universe halfway so that it can kind of provide you with this gift or this energy. I'm feeling again that energy of like tapping into your guides, tapping into angels, say a prayer to God or your ancestors or whatever resonates for you. But asking kind of what pathway brings me my highest good, right? What pathway is the pathway most aligned with love? Those would be good questions to ask the universe here, and being able to follow that pathway to love, right? And as always, trust your judgment and make your own decisions. If I was in this energy, that's what I would be asking. Do you have any more advice for the folks in this collective? We have the Two of Cups. That's very sweet. So the Two of Cups is that card of coming together in union. In this one, it looks less like marriage and more like it's like a coronation. She looks like she's crowning him. I'm wondering if that's like some sort of old marriage ritual or if it's supposed to be a coronation here. Oh, that's really beautiful. Really, really beautiful to end that. But yeah, coming into a place of partnership. This has not felt like a romance reading to me. I think this is very much about your individual healing, but it could be the case that doing this healing is able to bring in a romantic partnership. But I feel like, especially with the World card here, actually I feel like the coronation here, it's almost like one aspect of yourself kind of crowning another aspect of yourself as like a reward for kind of leveling up through this energy. So this would maybe be like your current self, your present self, and this would be like your highest self to me, like your most divine soul self, right? Kind of bestowing this upon you and saying like, really good job, right? Really good job for choosing the path of love. Really good job for choosing to love yourself here. And especially with the World card, like look at this beautiful light beaming in here. I love the symbolism of this card. The World is the successful completion of a cycle. So even though this is like a minor arcana energy, I feel like it's important. And I feel like we have the majors here, right? This is what I was feeling as you, as the Hierophant. And then this Tower energy. So there is a big energy that you're dealing with. And I think it's kind of the how do you heal it that feels more kind of up to you. And maybe that's part of where this confusion is, or feeling like lost. Maybe that's part of where it's coming from, is that the universe isn't showing you a clear path, right? And that's, I kind of feel an energy of like, well, universe, if you would just show me what you want me to do, I'll just do it. And like the universe isn't showing up in that way right now, because that's not the lesson that this collective is learning. The lesson that this collective is learning is to say, I'm lost in this fog of lostness, and I choose not to be lost here, right? I choose not to be lost in this fog of despair and depression and abandonment. But the World represents the successful completion of that cycle. You having healed this, mastered these lessons, and this beautiful, your higher self kind of crowning you as like an achievement that you've like leveled up, right? It's like such a beautiful energy That's a really cool message to get from that. I like that. It could be, I mean, it kind of feels like you partnering with yourself on a higher level, maybe having, so I'm distracted. I'm trying to figure out what other cards I want. Maybe you having like a more intimate relationship with your spiritual guides, with God, with your higher self, like kind of going deeper into yourself. It's a really cool message. Thanks for that message, God. I hope that this was helpful. I feel that foggy-headedness for anyone who's in this collective. I feel like the most important thing is to hold on to that spark of hope, because it's literally what transforms everything here. The spark of hope is what turns into this blazing fire of like illumination and passion and courage, right? To move forward and sort of defeat this energy and turn into this total badass, right? Who has burned all of the ego nonsense in this cave behind him. What other messages do you have here for this collective, God? It very much feels like someone who has been powerless coming into their power. So we have the Tiger, courage, willpower, strength. Use your passion and strength to overcome anything. Yeah, that's this. It's that passion, that spark, right? And being strong, having that, what I just heard is iron will. There has to be somewhere deep inside of you, there has to be a part of you that knows that you can make it through this, right? Because it's a tough energy. This is a tough energy. I feel like the illusion of this one is very strong, and you've got to have like a toughness and a grit about you to overcome it. And that's not, I mean, toughness and grit, it's a choice that you make, right? I choose to have the resilience to overcome this energy. It's not just something that you're born with and you can be like, well, I guess I just don't have any resilience. Like, no, that's not how this works. You have to make that choice to overcome it. And like I said, I was seeing someone rubbing those sticks together. Like there's a bit of effort involved here. But don't be deterred by that, right? You might rub the sticks together for a while and nothing happens, but then in the third hour, all of a sudden the fire sparks up, right? And it's like that magical moment. Powerful shark. Comprehension, progress, improvement. You have to trust your instincts. I like that. I feel like it's about trusting your heart and trusting your intuition rather than trusting what ego is trying to tell you about being in this energy. So ego would want you to think that you did something wrong here, that you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, that this is because you're bad, that you're stuck, that you are helpless, you can't overcome this. It's just a defeatist situation, and that's just how it is forever, right? I don't think that a shark would accept that energy, right? Shark is like the badass of the ocean, and I'm feeling him as clarity. That's really funny. I'm feeling the sharpness of him, like his fins are really sharp, his teeth are so sharp, and even like the star over his head, it's a very like sharp light. It's almost like an Ace of Swords energy in terms of that clarity, right? And almost like having a weapon. Like, I don't know if this will resonate for you guys. I love working with animal spirit magic. I think animals are incredible to tap into, but tap into that shark energy. Like, how would a shark handle this? Would a shark be sitting around sad? No. Would a shark be, in this despair and heartache energy? No. Like, a shark is a badass, and it's going to go out and have its needs met. It's going to go out and seek out its good, right? And it's like a sharp, I don't know. Like a shark is like a killing machine, right? And it's perfectly honed to do that. And I don't mean like there's no harm energy here or anything like that, but I'm really just feeling like this sharpness, and that a shark is a badass and it's going to go out and get it done. And like, that's it. And that it's perfectly tuned to be able to do that. So I feel like if that resonates for you at all and kind of helps you get through this energy, think of like an awesome animal that you love and that you admire, that's like strong or wise, like, I don't know, like a bear or an owl, or you've got the tiger here. What else do we have? A lion and a butterfly. That's really sweet. Yeah, like a lion, right? Like these big, powerful animals, or like an elephant, right? This big, gentle giant that could trample anything in its way. If that helps you or resonates with you at all, I feel like that could potentially be really powerful here. We have courageous lion, fortitude, courage, self-control. You need to reclaim the hidden power within. Yes, I feel that very much. I feel like whoever's in this energy feels very helpless. And that making that choice, right? Making the choice, do I stay in this energy? Do I not? Recognizing that this is not a life sentence, that you are capable of overcoming this. This is sweet. It's reminding me already of that hummingbird moth. It says, newborn butterfly, renewal, transformation, adaptability, brilliant harbinger of change. Release me from my own dark chrysalis. Yes, that's totally, I love when God does this, because I feel like it's such a confirmation for me that the energy that I read from the cards is accurate. And I just love that. I love being able to feel like I gave you guys the message that the universe intended to send through me. Release me from my own dark chrysalis. It's you being released from your shadows. Remember, I was talking about that, the shadow self, right? And with that moth, being able to accept every part of you, right? Even the parts that feel like bad, or the shadows or the darkness, right? Not rejecting those parts, accepting them, like loving them. That's part of you and the experiences that you've had, right? And it's all just energy that's coming up to heal. Release me from my own dark chrysalis. I don't know if this will resonate for you guys, but that's actually an awesome mantra for this energy. When I was talking about kind of calling in help from like angels, ancestors, to say to them, release me from my own dark chrysalis. I feel like those words are very powerful for anyone who's in this collective. But also remembering, right, that there is no angel or ancestor or God who's going to swoop in and save you or do this work for you, right? They are here to support you. They will love you through it. They can lend you strength, wisdom, kind of give you downloads into your intuition if you're open to that. But no divine being is going to do this work for you. This is your work to do. So making sure that when you say, release me from my own dark chrysalis, those words are for you. And not kind of expecting some divine being to swoop in like your knight in shining armor and kind of carry you away from this energy. Like, you got to go into the darkness and you got to make that choice to light that fire, right? And be this guy. Take all of this ego chatter, all of this despair, all of this heartache and betrayal and abandonment, all of this apathy, and you're kind of burning it in that cave and just walking away from it like a badass. This is a really cool reading. And please, like, I don't know, I always feel like I have to make caveats. Please do not literally light anything on fire, okay? We're not doing that. That's not helpful in this energy. I'm just using metaphors. So anyways, I hope that this reading was helpful. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment if you wish, as all of those things help me grow my channel. And I just absolutely love connecting with you guys in that way and hearing about what resonates and how it fits with your situation. It's like really fun. It kind of feels more of like a back and forth conversation to me, as opposed to me just sitting here talking at you. So yeah, I hope if you are in this collective, man, are some really juicy pieces here for you to heal. And I'm wishing you the best, most wonderful healing. I think it's going to feel incredible for you once you get that clarity and are able to transcend what it is you're working through here. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.